The S Mini is 16.5 centimeters long, 7.7 centimeters wide, and 1.8 centimeters thick. From its bottom to the joystick top is about 2.3 centimeters. Because the middle frame is made of all-metal CNC material, the device isn't exactly light, weighing in at around 296 grams. A comparison will give everyone a more intuitive sense of its size. As you can clearly observe, owing to the disparity in screen aspect ratios, the S Mini is considerably more slender than the AZ one, a difference that is quite noticeable. This is due to the varying screen dimensions of the two devices, which gives it a much narrower appearance. And when you compare it with the Air Mini, which shares the same display, their lengths look practically identical to the naked eye. But when stood upright, its height is almost 4 mm shorter, quite a noticeable difference. The device's front, like the ABS, is completely encased in a single sheet of glass. You can see that both the D-pad and the ABXY buttons on the S Mini are made of crystal clear transparent material. The text and icons deliberately lack strong color contrast, which further enhances and emphasizes its overall integrated and unified aesthetic. However, the four function keys positioned at the lower front utilize a frosted acrylic material for their construction. However, a key distinction is that, owing to its specific market positioning, the S Mini features a completely symmetrical design layout. You can see that the screen is not vertically centered on the front panel. The official livestream explained that this is due to the screen's ribbon cable being located at the bottom, which is why a logo was designed and placed beneath the screen. When looking at the official materials, the logo on the retro and white versions isn't very noticeable, but it's much more prominent on the black one. Personally, I really wish the black logo was a deeper shade, or honestly, just getting rid of it entirely wouldn't have been a problem either. Moreover, the S Mini screen-to-body ratio appears to be somewhat lower compared to the Air Mini. From a design standpoint, the initial factor is that the entire front is covered by a single piece of glass, eliminating any screen bezel. Secondly, the S Mini's joysticks are not sunken, which means there's no joystick bezel either. Consequently, this ultimately makes the screen-to-body ratio seem reduced, yet it significantly enhances the device's overall integration and seamlessness. As for which one is superior or more preferable, that genuinely boils down to a subjective matter of individual taste and personal opinion. On the device's top, you'll find 4 shoulder buttons, 2 expansion buttons, the fingerprint/power switch, a power indicator, volume controls, and cooling vents. You can see there are as many as 6 openings in the middle section, but they still maintain a unified center line, and the shoulder buttons on both sides are flush with the bottom of the openings. The natural and well-organized design of this device definitely deserves high praise and a lot of commendation. The bottom of the device has the speaker outlet, screw holes, the charging port, and a microphone. It also maintains that consistent, unified center alignment, but much to our regret, we don't see any of the highly anticipated and widely beloved 3-body technology that everyone is so fond of. On the left side of the device, departing from previous designs, a circular custom button has been integrated below the shoulder button. In contrast, the right side is where you'll find the TF card slot cover. The back panel is made of frosted acrylic material, the left side has the cooling air intake, and the right side features the brand inscription. This specific brand inscription on this part integrates quite harmoniously with the back panel. Moreover, the texture it presents is really well executed and feels very good to the touch, contributing to an overall premium feel. In terms of feel, due to the lack of an ergonomic grip design, it certainly will provide an exceptionally outstanding holding experience. However, within the existing constraints, it still manages to offer a fairly decent tactile sensation. I believe this is primarily reflected in 2 points. Firstly, the metal frame, back panel, and front glass cover are not purely flat. Instead, they incorporate curves at the edges, what was once commonly referred to as a 2.5D design on phones. The combination of these 3 elements ensures that when holding the device, there are no uncomfortable sharp edges. Second, as your index fingers rest on the sides, the middle part of your fingers can easily operate the shoulder buttons, while your fingertips can reach the expansion buttons on top. The curvature of the 4 corners is just right, allowing both your palm and the second joint of your index finger to grip the device comfortably. You can truly feel the direct contrast and difference immediately when you pick up your own phone, especially those with less rounded corners. Regarding the buttons, the D-pad and ABXY buttons are made of conductive rubber, and they feel quite good. The L1 and R1 shoulder buttons both utilize conductive rubber contacts, and the L2 and R2 are linear triggers, although they possess a somewhat limited travel distance. The side and bottom function keys are all dome switch buttons, but what's different is that the 4 function keys on the front feel a bit softer and aren't as clicky as the others, which you can tell just from the sound they make. The S Mini largely maintains the minimalist design language of its predecessor, the ABS. This black version I have boasts an exceptionally seamless and integrated appearance among handheld devices, especially when the screen is off. Its front profile even gives off a strong smartphone vibe, and this visual impression, so unlike a typical gaming console, imbues it with a truly unique character. This black model I'm holding has an outstandingly integrated appearance for a handheld device, particularly with the screen off. From the front, it even has a smartphone-like aesthetic. It's precisely this visual impression, one that doesn't immediately suggest a game console, that allows it to project a truly distinctive aura. Some folks describe it as being elegant and quite refined, while others might feel it's a bit distant and even cold. No matter the assessment, I believe it really reflects AYA's careful consideration and steadfast dedication to design principles. For instance, the attention to detail, like the horizontal center line on top I mentioned earlier, shows the brand's commitment to visual unity. Amidst the fierce industry competition today, I really do hope all manufacturers will not only strive to compete on performance and specifications, but also increasingly dedicate themselves to the refinement and enhancement of product details. Among all the screen ratios, why does the 4:3 aspect ratio have so many fans? So, what exactly are its advantages, and why isn't the more commonly used 16:9 aspect ratio chosen directly instead? This is actually closely tied to the purpose of an open-source handheld console. So-called open-source handhelds can also be called retro handheld consoles. As the name suggests, they're mainly for retro games, what we call old games, and that's the fundamental difference between them and mainstream gaming devices. Even though the Sony PS2 and the original Xbox had hardware support for 16:9 output around 2000 and 2001, CRT monitors were still the predominant display technology, and the vast majority of games continued to be developed with a 4:3 aspect ratio in mind. It wasn't until the PSP launched in December 2004 that the 16:9 era for handheld gaming truly began, ushering in a new standard for portable display aspect ratios. And Nintendo, long considered the undisputed king of handheld devices, surprisingly held out. They didn't even incorporate a 16:9 display into their handheld lineup until the very first Nintendo Switch was unveiled to the public in 2016. Since 4:3 was the predominant aspect ratio during the peak of retro gaming, it has become the natural choice for many when considering the ideal screen proportion for nostalgic devices. This encompasses a wide range of platforms, including Sega's Master System, Genesis, Saturn, and Dreamcast, Sony's original PlayStation and PlayStation 2, as well as Nintendo's GameCube and Wii, to name a few. Following tradition, I'll also demonstrate how other aspect ratios are displayed on a 4:3 screen. The S Mini features a 4.2-inch display with a resolution of 1280 by 960, which is the exact same screen model utilized in the L Mini. To be frank, while this screen might not be in the absolute top tier like the Vert's, its respectable resolution, combined with 500 nits of brightness, ensures that its performance for retro gaming still stands out as truly excellent. Although a 4:3 screen can cover most retro platforms, when you're dealing with native 16:9 games from systems like the PSP, the effective display area does get noticeably smaller. Therefore, your ultimate choice truly boils down to your primary gaming interests and what you prefer. Your personal taste and what you enjoy playing most will ultimately be the deciding factors, shaping which option best suits your gaming style. Many gamers, I'm sure, are already quite familiar with the G3x Gen 2. AYA's ACE, DMG, and first-generation APS models all feature this very powerful chip. Its performance has truly evolved from being criticized for lackluster driver support to now being pretty much flawless. I'd absolutely say it's an excellent chip for a totally superb retro gaming experience. So, since we're talking about the ultimate experience, let's look at a few tests. Here's the PS2 Valkyrie Profile 2 at 2x native resolution with a scanline filter. Right after the first scene leaving the port, and to test performance, I didn't use any effect disabling cheat codes. It still maintains a full frame rate in the forest with the red fog. On the PS2, Gran Turismo 4, running at 6x native resolution with a scanline filter, achieves a perfect frame rate. Then, on the Wii, Super Mario Galaxy also performs flawlessly at 6x native resolution. And for the Wii, Monster Hunter Tri 2 maintains a full frame rate, again at 6x native resolution. It's worth noting that I'm currently using a custom fan profile that kicks in at 65 degrees, and the performance mode is set to full power. Looking at the performance monitoring overlay, it's evident that even with these 4 games running at their absolute maximum speed, the fan's rotation rate remains quite low. In fact, for the vast majority of the time, it doesn't even need to activate at all. The S Mini is actually equipped with a 4700 mAh battery. Due to prior misinformation, I'll now provide comparisons using 2, 5, and 10 watts of output power, contrasting them with the previously incorrect 6000 mAh specification. The official announcement has been made, a compensation plan where if you purchase an S Mini, you will receive an L Mini free. As a reviewer, I will also be releasing a separate video to personally apologize for my oversight in this matter. Also, in my Odin 2 review, a viewer commented that I missed standby performance, so I'm adding that this time. After thorough testing, a fully charged S Mini in normal standby mode for about 8 hours experienced only a 1% battery drain. Moreover, I've thoroughly discussed AYA's system ecosystem many times in prior videos. It's quite polished, encompassing desktop front-ends, game front-ends, and various useful utilities, so I won't go into extensive detail here again. In my opinion, a well-optimized and user-friendly system is also an absolutely indispensable part of what could be called a truly graduate-level experience. I've titled this chapter, Graduation Level Performance. The initial reason, as I mentioned at the outset, is that most people are quite familiar with the performance level of the G3x Gen 2, or the 8 Gen 2. I actually prefer to demonstrate its power by showcasing capabilities that exceed practical effective returns. Most PS2 and Wii games typically had native resolutions of 640 by 448. Note, I'm referring to games. At 6x resolution, the rendered resolution can hit 3840 by 2688, which is 4K standard. Of course, this is primarily for performance testing. During actual gameplay, I definitely wouldn't recommend doing this. Rendering at a resolution far exceeding your screen's display offers limited benefits. While it provides extremely high-quality visuals, it also significantly increases power consumption and reduces battery life. Its impressive performance, even on the two most graphically demanding retro gaming platforms, truly demonstrates its exceptional capability to effortlessly handle virtually all gaming requirements. Not to mention the PC emulators with strong driver support from the Snapdragon processor and, well, the emulator that shall not be named. Regarding platforms with less developed emulators, such as the Wii U and PS3, I seldom mention them in my videos. This is primarily because I believe that whether you're a dedicated tinkerer or a casual gamer, the ultimate pursuit remains a consistently stable gaming experience. Therefore, I'd much rather invest my time in platforms that offer consistent and stable performance. Naturally, I sincerely hope these emulators get perfected quickly so we can all truly enjoy them without any hitches. Moreover, another significant reason is that each player's vision of the ultimate, perfectly suited device for their gaming journey varies wildly. I really dislike making definitive choices for others, and my videos are merely intended to offer a valuable point of reference for you to consider. That, to me, is entirely sufficient. Alright, that concludes this video. If you found it helpful, I would truly appreciate it if you could show your support by hitting that like button, subscribing, and sharing it with others. Please follow me, and I'll continue to bring you more practical and engaging content in the future. Until next time.